All right, welcome back to another episode of Goal Getters. I am your host, John, with my good friend and co-host, Scott. What's happening, Scott?
Man, what's going on?
Nothing at all. Next week or soon we'll have Julio back with us, but we'll keep the seat warm, I guess, for him as he keeps on playing softball.
Summer softball.
All right, Don, hey, what's going on? One of our good, loyal followers and watchers of this show, and I want to thank everyone that watches us every week. I never say that much, but thank you. Thank you to all the viewers.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
You know, Scott, here's my plan. Here was the plan of this show. Want to do a college football preview. No big deal. We're going to find your team for you tonight. Tonight is going to be almost like The Bachelorette or something. We find your team. You guys.
Who's going to get, who am I going to, whose rose am I going to get?
Yeah, we don't know what school gets the rose. It's going to be kind of fun. And the other schools will be mad and probably slap each other. So it'll be fun, right? You'll like that, Robin. Yeah. Robin's here too, doing her production.
What's up, Robin?
Scott. Hi, everyone.
So what I want to do is, you know what? Don't fuck it, because what ends up happening is bullshit again. Let me lead the story that I got to lead with, even though I hate it. You know, because I do another show. I do two other shows that deal with these kinds of things. Some of it, I hate it on the sports show. I hate its guts.
And we just got done talking about this shit.
And we were sick of it, of course. All right. If I say his name wrong, I'm sorry, because I don't care anymore. Matt, is it Ariza?
Yes.
Ariza. Punter, great punt, whatever. Good punter, great punter. We've had a lot of great punters in our lifetime. I've seen a million of them. We've seen a lot of them come and go. Okay, San Diego State University. They were 12-2 last year, whatever. Kid's good punter. The story comes out, but it was out about a year ago, I guess, 10 months ago, that a high school girl alleges a gang rape of the San Diego State University, a couple of the football players, 3 of them or 4, whatever. One of them, Ariza, is named. If you check out this one article, I thought was really good, but there's more now. Subsequently, there has been better articles, more of them coming out, more information, but this one was pretty good. If you find it's like from June 5th, it just gives you a little more into it. But now, since then, the Buffalo News has done a great job. Go there. You can see
Tim Graham on Twitter. Tim Graham on Twitter for sure.
Doing really good. Great articles. Yahoo had some good ones. I mean, we're starting to really now. Yeah, we're really starting to now learn what people out west knew. Because I think San Diego, the community might have known more, obviously, than we knew.
Well, we just got slapped in the face with it yesterday. Yeah.
And, all right. I don't even know where to start with this bullshit. If Scott, I mean, the more you read it, we talked about this last night before the show when we both just heard it.
Oh, I mean, we were going back and forth for about an hour over this.
Yeah, and it was pretty good. I mean, I don't know what to say, man. I mean, to me, it seems like tonight, I'm shocked if he takes the field to punt for the Buffalo Bills in this preseason game.
I will be highly disgusted if they allow him to take the field tonight. And the reason I say it is you got to get ahead of this. The Bills pride themselves on being a team that goes after quality people and quality character, no questionable character. They don't even go after free agents that are like kind of riding the edge for the most part. And then this comes out. And it's like crickets. They don't want to talk about it. I know they just supposedly found out about it a month ago, and I do also want to bring up that Ariza's attorney said on CBS News show this morning that Ariza advised the Bills about it before the draft, but he came out afterwards and said that he absolutely didn't.
Right.
But I'm not giving them any leeway. I'm just saying.
No, that's the word.
I just got confirmation that he won't be in tonight's game.
Didn't think so. Good. Okay, so things are going to go. So they're starting to approach it the right way, that was the first thing. I didn't want him out there. Secondly, by Monday, I guarantee you, he ain't going to be on the team.
Yeah,
he'll be gone by the end of the week.
He's not going anywhere else. You know what? He should get off it because he's got a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
This ain't the place to be. Look, here's the thing. The Yahoo, this is like you say, I mean, we talked about this in Deshaun Watson a little bit too, why things were happening the way they were happening. So you look and you see the police, I don't know, it must have been the San Diego Police Department, had the girl call the accused that she was accusing You know what I mean? So it's all there. He admits to having sex with
I
a
want to
girl.
pause that right there for a second, though. The biggest thing I have an issue with, biggest thing, and not against her, is she says, now I'm talking to you now and not your message, so I can explain more what I meant. How does a girl that's underage go to a police department, claim gang rape, went to a hospital, got a rape kit done, and nobody's been arrested? If Mataraz's on that call admitted to sleeping with her, and she was underage, I don't know how long that call was, but why is he not getting arrested for it? I'm not saying anybody's not guilty. I'm saying I want more information out of it. I got more questions, and I'm not getting answers to some of them in the articles that I'm getting. I still have these questions, and they're not getting addressed by anybody.
Those are the questions that are got to be asked, because I know I'm not talking about anyone personal in my life. I'm talking about some stories that I know in my area, in our area. It's the same damn thing. There's guys out there that have raped children, and they're not being cuffed up. It don't make
because
any
they're
sense.
hanging with powerful people.
Yeah, and it don't make any sense. It blows your mind. And that's why we said last week, and you were right, and I agreed with you, and I've said it a million times, it's not even a football, it's not an NFL issue, it's a serious societal issue that has to be addressed, because our judicial systems, the people in general don't take it seriously when it's really sick. When you hear these stories, they really don't. You'd think people would be appalled. And some are, but you also see
I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, Bills fans that I've read, I would say it's 9 out of every 10 people are really they want him gone. I mean, I saw like one or two people say that let it play out, but for the most part, everybody in Bills Mafia I'm friends with on Twitter, men, obviously women, but a lot of the men all say get rid of him. I'm saying get rid of him. I don't want the guy on my team, dude. I got 2 daughters.
Yeah, it wouldn't
If
matter.
this shit happened to them, I'd be in jail because I'd kill someone.
Right.
But needless to say, I want to know why nothing's happened with this. Now it's national.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of explaining to do, man. Like whoever's in charge of that police department, they got a lot of questions to answer.
He should have never made it to the draft. He never should have had an opportunity to be drafted.
Buffalo should have never been able to draft him.
Sure, because this is look. They can do the right thing real quick. Well, they are doing. If they didn't play him tonight, that's a step in the right direction. Absolutely, that must mean it's over. It must mean.
Oh yeah, I would imagine. I'd imagine right now him not playing tonight. He's probably done. But what I will say is, the Bills said they did in a press release. They did a thorough investigation. They never spoke to the girl, just like in the Deshaun Watson case.
Yeah.
Never spoke to the girl, never even spoke to her lawyer. How is that an investigation? There's no one-sided investigation. I mean, I can go interview every criminal and his friends if I'm a cop and they're going to tell me the guy didn't do it. Do I just call a case closed then?
I know. No.
It smells really bad, man. Like, I'm not saying so much on the Bills' part because right now it does, but they're probably going to cut him. I just don't see Brandon Beane keeping that. They're just not like that. Do you know what I mean?
I don't.
They really don't go after players or take risks on guys like that. Like Kareem Hunt, Ray Rice. They're not going to give them a chance. You know what I mean?
The only shocking part to them is, well, not even. I don't even know what to say. I find it so hard to believe sometimes that these people don't know more than I know. Now, they knew more than I knew a month ago, but they decided to cut the other punter. I don't get that. That's a weird.
Well, I think I know. I think. Well, how long in between them getting rid of? Well, when did the lawsuit happen?
I don't even know when it was actually filed.
I guarantee you, it was a wait and see approach. They probably by now kind of didn't think maybe anything was going to happen with it. And now they're like that with their players. They released Hack so that he could get an opportunity to go play somewhere else.
And you know what else I'll say? I'm not surprised they might not know, because the way it's being covered up in San Diego, it's hard to break through that. you can't break through. And this is why it's societal, and the whole damn thing has to be changed. People have to, like you said, you got daughters, I have daughters. I don't need to have my daughters raped to feel what it would feel like. Like, I can put myself in the shoes of that father that went to the police 3 days after. And he's of course he is livid. I mean, what is this? That's what I'm saying. He's
a better man than me, John, because I'd be in jail right now.
I know, and it's a good thing because it'd be horrible. You know, you go to jail and sometimes the rapist doesn't. That's the sick thing. The guy, you know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't want to dwell on this for too long because
I don't either, because we got not better, but we got a ton of stuff to talk about. But as a Bills fan, I will say I want the guy going off. And I truly do not believe that Brandon Beane knew as much as people thinks that he knows. He's just not that. I don't know him personally, but seeing in the years he's been here, he's not that kind of a guy. He's not that kind of a GM. You know what I mean?
You know, I'll tell you this. It would be interesting, though. You know what, though? Screw it. Football related, he's a freaking punter. Get him the hell out of here. I mean, I'm just going football. I don't want to, just because we're a sports.
I mean,
show.
mind you, if he didn't do what he did, that dude's a hell of an asset to have on your team.
Yeah. I remember that other guy for a little bit there. The guy for his last name was King for the Raiders. He was unbelievable. He could kick the ball 90 yards.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Is that the guy with the personality in the mouth that he got let go because he was too much of a running his mouth? Great kick punter, but he just couldn't shut up.
Right, and they just think they're not. That was like Vanderjack. Remember
That's
that
a shame too.
Yeah. So like when Vanderjack, when Peyton Manning called him an idiot and all that was great.
Idiot kicker.
Yeah, running his mouth, getting liquored up. But there's another guy, by the way. Peyton Manning got away with what he got away with in the University of Tennessee because what he had done should have brought some. I mean, what he did, he sexually assaulted
Ben Roethlisberger.
Another one, other guy.
That dude was a predator.
I know. Well,
I mean, even Stormy Daniels said when she was
that's true.
trying to hide, when Trump was trying to get with her, he left, and then Roethlisberger was pounding on her door. What is wrong with these guys?
Yeah, it's a problem. They're
well, no, dude, they think they have power, and no one can say no.
Yep.
That's what it is, man. No one's ever told them no most of their lives.
Correct.
They've always been told how great they are.
Dawn says Dawn is drinking the Brandon Beane Kool-Aid too. She said, "I don't think Beane would have drafted him if he knew there was an issue."
It's come out that the Bills didn't know prior to the draft. That his lawyer said that they did.
Why would you draft him?
They did.
I don't think any team in the league would draft that.
No,
if he knew that.
No, nobody would. I mean, come on.
I don't care who you are.
I'm sure they're pretty pissed off that they put him in this position, dude.
Oh, I'd be livid.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they're not happy.
I'd be furious. I mean, it'll be interesting if the players or anybody did you see what Jacoby Brissett said? I had the video, but it's not working, and I'm so pissed off.
I love Jacoby Brissett.
I'm so mad. I have the video, but for some reason the audio portion won't work. Well, they asked him, Robin, where'd you wrote down the quote, right? Yeah. Where is it at? I got a quote. Back of this thing? Yeah. Okay. So he's at the podium, and I'm so mad. Anyways, they say to him, how are you different? Let me see. It is very. They said, how can you not? What did they ask him? How are you different, or how are you not like Deshaun? That's what they said. On the base, that was the question.
How do you not be like Deshaun?
Yeah, they asked him, how do you not do it? And I think they were talking about on the field. I think they were talking about not doing too much,
Oh, God. He thought they meant something else.
He goes, "Oh, it is very easy to not be like Deshaun," and he laughs. And then he said, "Trust me." I have the audio, and it isn't working. He says,
"I love it.
Oh, it is very easy to not be like Deshaun. Trust me." You know what he meant there?
Awesome. Good for him.
Right.
Good for him.
Yeah. So I thought that was because I saw him when that lunatic owner for the Browns. I don't know why his name is slipping my mind. Yeah, and he was standing there with Brissett. And did you see Brissett's face when that fool was talking about second chances and everything else? And Brissett looked sick because it was disgusting. He had to stand there, and it was what you say about Garoppolo not wanting to go there.
Right.
There's Brissett. What's he going to do? He's in.
He's stuck.
But he can do fine. You know what?
I believe he's a pretty good character, dude. I think
I hope he
Jacoby
does well. I actually hope.
I honestly think he is going to do well. I like Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
And he's got the same style as Deshaun Watson. So the offense is already set up for him.
And if he's a little bit older, maybe he doesn't take so many chances. I don't know, with the interceptions and stuff.
Dude, they got a lot of talent on the team. If that run game takes off and that defense can hold off, they just need a game manager.
Right. You know what? I was gonna let's finish it. Let's do NFL, and then we'll go to college football.
Okay.
I want to show you a video because I want to hear what you think of it. Here it comes. I know you've seen it. All right, so there you go. I know you saw that already. Adam Schefter made a ridiculous comment like there should be criminal charges pressed.
Dude, I got a big comment. I got a lot of comments about this.
Go ahead.
Stop having joint practices, man. Because I listened to the Pat McAfee show today. I listen to it all the time. And they had a couple former players talking about this. They all said the same thing. They're like, I can tell you exactly what ends up happening. This is why these things are not a good idea. You practice the first day. Let's say Aaron Donald's hit you a couple times. Right? He goes, this is exactly what happens. And the other player was like, you're right. The guy was like, coach comes up to you and goes, hey, man, what's this? You going to let this guy do this to you? You going to let this guy push you around? Now you got the dude pissed off, trying to make up for how bad he looked the day before. Now he goes to practice. Now he's extra pissed off at Aaron Donald. And extra shoves happen. These players said this happens all the time. And they said they should just completely get rid of these joint practices because there's always like 20 fights all the time. I mean, there's fights at the Bills practices and they're playing each other.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I don't think they should be having joint practices. I never really got why they did. And we used to do it in a little league. I get it.
Yeah.
NFL, I really don't think.
Yeah, I don't either. Especially, maybe it's because I don't know. Are they doing this to compensate for not having enough preseason game? Like, because,
I don't know.
It's weird.
I know there's a lot of joint practices going on this year. I don't know how many there often are, but I have heard of them, now and again throughout preseasons. But I don't know how common it is that all of them do it.
I can't see the criminal charges thing.
Well, there was also what they didn't show you was there was also a Cincinnati Bengal who took a helmet and did the same thing.
Sure,
you just didn't see it. You didn't see it in that little montage they showed.
And those are the two teams, right? Those are the two Super Bowl teams. I mean, there was all.
You had to know that was going to happen. They're going to talk shit. I mean, come on, dude.
As a fan, I love it. I don't mind.
I mean, I don't mind it either, but don't start saying people should be suspended. Such a douchebag.
Yeah, I can't believe he was talking like that. Yeah, I know. What do you mean?
I used to think he was. I used to like following him. I don't anymore.
I don't either.
He's fake. I think he's fake. I think he lies. I don't trust the guy.
No, I've turned a little bit more to Ian guy, Rappaport, whatever the hell his name is.
I like Ian. Ian's awesome.
He's not bad, yeah. And sometimes when Jay
Glazer, Garofalo, he's good.
He's good.
Those are two insiders I follow. I don't even follow him. What's his name anymore?
Schefter.
Don't even follow him anymore.
And we have so we had that. I want to bring up another video. For everyone else who might not have heard it, it's about 2 minutes long. It's Dana White. Let's listen to him.
Oh, yeah.
For you, man. I know when Tom was a free agent about 2-3 years ago before he went to Tampa, you gave him a recruiting pitch on why he should join the Vegas Raiders. What went wrong with that recruiting pitch that you gave him?
Do I really tell this story right now, Doug? Do you want me to tell this story?
Yes.
You can give a brief story. You don't got to go too much in details because you never know. I could have been in Vegas with you for the last 3 years, man. What the heck?
No,
it's still there. You would have signed it.
You would have been. So
I would have bet.
I'm the one. I worked to put that deal together for Brady and Gronk to come to the Raiders, and it was almost a done deal. And at the last minute, Gruden blew the deal up and said that he didn't want him. And all hell broke loose, man. It was crazy, and Brady was already looking at houses, and it wasn't being said yet that Gronk was coming. So Las Vegas would have had Brady and Gronk the year that the Bucs won the Super Bowl, except Gruden blew the deal up. And there's so much story that goes along with this behind the scenes, and I was never going to tell that story till Gronk just said it, but yeah.
And Dana, that is exactly what happened, and you just told the story. That is exactly what happened. Wow.
Breaking news.
Wow.
Send me with the Gronk. John Gruden screwed up. Going to the Raiders.
It worked out for the best, and I'm glad it did not go through.
Really?
Yes, I am glad it did not
So
go
you said if
through.
you went to the Raiders, that wouldn't have won a Super Bowl?
Yes, no, I mean, it all worked out for the best, man. I'm
Okay.
glad we went to Tampa, man. It just worked out. I love that place.
Yeah, I think we go to Vegas enough already.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That would have been a little dangerous with you playing in
Oh,
Vegas.
hell no.
Exactly.
I am not glad
For
that
us.
that deal didn't go through.
I would have been at all the fights Saturday night, even though we have games the next day.
So there you go. And back then, when Brady made that comment, I thought he was talking about Nick Foles, because at one point they were talking about him going to the Bears. And
Why the fuck is Dana White getting involved in the NFL?
that's got to be what Al Davis Jr. there must have asked him to, I guess.
I don't like that kind of shit going on.
Weird, right? But
I don't like it.
that's when the guy.
Dudes, you do one thing and you do it well. Stick to your own fucking lane, dude. Don't come to the NFL. Pardon my language. Don't come and start dipping your toes in the NFL and poaching people from teams because you want them in Las Vegas.
I wonder why Davis would have went to him.
Hey, you know what the best part of that whole story is? It hasn't gotten enough talk. Is Derek Carr? They're going to stick with that motherfucker?
Yeah.
When Brady said that on LeBron's podcast?
Yeah.
Had to be.
I know it had to be him. Obvious, it had to be.
Had to be.
Because that's what happened. Yeah, obviously, when he's talking about Gruden. Yeah.
I don't know.
I like it.
Sometimes I know Brady's good, but he knows he's so good. I'd like to see him get his leg broke this year if I could.
No, I don't.
I don't think he's going to make the playoffs this year. That
Yeah, I don't know.
offensive line, he is going to be – dude, he's going to get hurt. Watch.
I
He's
love
going to
it
get
all.
hit more this year. Watch.
God, I love it. I love it all. I love it all.
Why?
I love it. I think it's funny. It cracks me up. I love
When that
hearing
whole
his.
thing goes down in flames because they think
Yes.
they're going to run it back.
It's
They
so
don't even
funny.
have a good – I'm sorry. They're not good enough to run it back. I don't think they are.
Oh, the Buccaneers?
Compared to all the other teams,
No, they've got a good defense.
they're not like head and shoulders above
No.
everybody else like they were at one point.
No,
They're not
they're
now.
I think the Rams are better, way better than them.
Their offensive line is all beat up.
Beat up.
The left guard and the center. Dude, he's going to have a long year.
Speaking of beat up, did you see? Boy, the Cowboys. They're having a horrible. I mean, what a
Oh.
horrible left tackle there. The Tyron Smith, broken knee, torn hamstring off the bone. Oh my God, he's done for the year.
That's horrible, man.
Yeah.
When you hear it torn off the bone,
Oh my God.
that's bad.
Yeah.
That's a
And-
long healing process there.
Yeah, because if it was just a broken knee, he could possibly be. It could be 6 weeks, maybe
Right.
3 months. But
He better hope he comes back maybe 80% with something like that.
geez, the Cowboys, they couldn't have a worse, preseason, I guess, or off season with all the injuries and all
I
that.
heard Jerry crying this morning on the radio.
I did too. I actually that's funny. I love that.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
watching Jerry squirm. It's the best.
I love all of this. I love the only thing I love about Dana White there was just letting me hear behind the scenes. I love
And
hearing.
he was we might not have ever heard that.
So I'm glad
It never got out.
Good for him. I love.
No one was ever. I mean, there was rumors of nothing.
They were trying to say, I remember because the Bears were supposedly, I don't know how true this was, trying to get Brady because that Nagy and what's his name were really needing somebody whatever. And when he called someone, what he said, everyone thought it was Foles because Foles in Chicago, Foles beat him, all that other shit.
Right.
Obviously, no Carr. Well, whatever. I love it. I love it
So
though.
do I. So do I.
Yes, Rob. Go ahead.
do you think that this puts Derek Carr under more pressure to win?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the pressure was already there.
Yeah. Well, because his career's coming. I mean, he's not a young guy anymore. So he's
not
got
Aaron Rodgers, man.
Yeah, he's got to win.
I mean, just because Devontae's there doesn't mean that Devontae's going to be the number one wideout again this year.
It's kind of similar, right? To me, like Adams and Rodgers probably both feel a drop.
Yeah,
I would think in themselves.
I think Green Bay's definitely going to have a reality check this year.
I look forward to that. See if that happens.
They're praising Sammy, dude.
No, I know. I like Lazard better.
That guy is China. He's never ever healthy.
I think Lazard could be good. He's a big guy. He can,
he's not a number one, John. He's not a true number one wideout.
Yeah, I don't know yet. Maybe
they're going to try to force him to be.
Force it. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
But he never has been.
I know. It'll be interesting. It'll be
so
really.
Rodgers can make a guy a number one wideout.
Let's see. No,
I don't have a lot of faith.
Not.
I don't have a lot of faith.
I just, you know me, man.
I mean, he's great, but I'm sorry, you can't. Devontae Adams, those kinds of guys come around once in a while. They're not every year.
If the freaking Bears beat them one time this year, I'll be very happy.
There'd be a good chance you could. Tell you know who looks bad? Trey Lance.
You were saying in the offensive
did not look good last night, dude.
Yeah, I know.
I don't understand why they just dumped the keys in his lap.
They drafted him so damn
high. He just had another year.
Number 2. They did the same thing to him like they did to Trubisky in my mind.
Yeah.
Probably didn't deserve to be there. He's only played, they tell you, he hasn't started many games as a quarterback, even through high school. Like, you know what I mean? It's just very similar to Trubisky, actually. Very, very similar. Robin, you have a question for us?
Yeah. Which AFC West team do you think will miss the playoffs?
AFC West team. I you know what, I've said this all along, so I'm going to go with Denver. I don't think
Denver's going to make it past anybody else in the division either. I think they got high hopes, but
I don't think they're ready.
Dude, those other teams are so good.
Yeah, I think
so much younger.
Chargers and Chiefs are will be. I mean,
the Chargers. If the Chargers, well, they haven't been in the playoffs yet, so
we'll see.
Everybody's crowning Herbert like he's the number 3 behind Allen, but he hasn't proved anything.
Not yet.
He's a 1-0. I mean, I expect him to be good. I like Herbert, but don't crown him.
Right. No, I agree. I think the Broncos got to be there. I think the Raiders, I wanted to say them. They would be my close second, but I will give it to them. I just don't even think Russell Wilson's the same anymore. I don't know.
I think there's a lot of dreaming going on in Denver, dude.
Yeah, because they need a quarterback, right? They haven't had one since Elway or whatever. It's that same thing. Everyone's searching, and they've been searching for 30 years. And you know,
but you know what's good is a lot of the recently drafted quarterbacks are really good.
Yeah,
as opposed to getting like maybe 2 out of like a group of 5. We're getting like 5 out of 5.
It was a decent draft that year, I guess. I don't know. I think. I feel bad for the guy in Wilson. He was the name I was flubbing in my head with the Jets. It's kind of too bad that he has to miss 6 weeks for it. Thank God it wasn't really bad, but he'll miss the 4 to 6 weeks.
It's almost like you can see the downslide of his career already.
Too bad.
He hasn't even gotten to show himself, really.
I hope not. I hope he comes back and he's not afraid. You know, because even Joe Burrow talked about being afraid after his injury.
Oh, yeah.
I hope can be one of those guys that's not.
They say it's 90% mental coming back from that.
And that was Tua's problem too. And I still say that injury he had at Alabama, and then he had a good one in Miami. Those were 2 pretty big, you know what I mean? Major. I wonder how much of that was mental with him too. And also his obviously his coach was horrible. So, but yeah, that's those guys. I got to ask you a question.
What's up?
It looks like Garoppolo's going to get cut.
Good.
So August 31st, he'll get the chop.
I'm kind of surprised. Weren't they just saying the other day that they wanted to cut him?
I know. What are they going to do? I don't know.
Somebody's got to do something because they're holding the guy up. It's not fair. It's not their fault. It's not his fault. You guys gave him that big contract. Nobody's going to take over.
Right. No.
Jimmy G's going to play for somebody this year.
Yeah. And and our guy, my favorite guy, Trubisky doesn't really have a hold on that first spot. It's QB1 for him.
I give him about 3 weeks, dude. What? Pickett looks good.
Yeah,
very good.
That's good for them. 3 weeks. You're probably right.
I give it that, and I don't think it's going to be based on Trubisky's play. I just think Pickett's that good.
Yeah, it might not even matter. They could be 3-0. Trubisky will come out possibly for him.
I think he adds another element to the game.
God, if Garoppolo doesn't end up in Seattle, I don't know where he could go. I really don't know.
Word is out there that they didn't want to just release him because they don't want him to end up in Seattle.
Yes, right. That's that. Yes.
So I'm kind of surprised they're going to do
it. They were talking, right? That he'd be let go.
They said that they wanted to be Trey Lance's team, and they feel like if they keep him on the roster, that it'll be polarized.
You know what? You're right. Let me tell you something. 3 plays into that game last night with Trey Lance, they had already started.
It was a home.
Wow, they handed the keys to this team over to this guy. And Jimmy G went to a Super Bowl, an NFC Championship game, and they just draft some guy number 3. And I'm just that's why I'm like, here we go, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't like Trey Lance being. I couldn't believe he was the best quarterback. He went number 1, right? He was the first quarterback.
Yeah, did they trade up to get him?
I think so. But yeah, I don't know.
Good, dude. For a guy sitting a year, you got guys coming in that have only been playing in the NFL for what, 4 months, and they look better than him.
He doesn't look any better than Jordan Love to me, really.
No. They kind of. Which Jordan Love actually looks better than he has.
Yeah,
I give him that.
Haven't you got anything else?
Yeah.
Another question before we take a break?
All right, let me go with this one. Is Aaron Donald, we talked about him earlier, is he the best defensive player in the league right now?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a disturber.
100%.
He's a disturber. I will never forget this, Scott. You'll like this. This is how long ago it was. Our oldest daughter was working at the Factory Outlet Mall, and I was sitting there because she wasn't driving yet, and I'm picking her up to bring her home. And the draft is going on. The Bears I think they're picking 7, and there's Aaron Donald. He's coming down, and that's who I want. Everyone, Aaron Donald, and they got taken 6. Aaron Donald went 6, and the Bears take Kyle Fuller. What a difference that could have been for them if they get Donald. The guy is just a disruption. He's
so good he could change a whole defense.
Yeah, he's
disruptor. They just added a few more pieces over the last few years, and look at how good they are.
And I think he's going to retire soon, by the way.
I do too. I think within 2 years.
I think he was close this year. I think they had talked about it.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. Roquan Smith is playing, and he's saying all the right things. He's going to he's going to be there. That will help that defense be. That's why I'm telling you, they're going to beat the 49ers week 1. In Chicago.
Trey Lance is playing. I'd put money on the Bears.
I think they can win. They'll probably be an underdog at home. Robin, something else? Before we take it, you got another NFL question or anything else? NFL, I guess.
Yeah. Should the Titans create a package to get Malik Willis in the offense?
Probably we will. No, I don't know. What is he any?
Dude, if Ryan Tannehill has a bad stretch of games, they're going to start calling for his head. He looks good.
Malik does? Doesn't he?
Yeah. Better than I expected.
Yeah, I know, because he came from Liberty, and it's kind of weird,
Right. I mean, I heard all that Liberty stuff prior to him getting drafted, but, dude, he looks really good, man.
Well, I like Tannehill, but Tannehill's no different than Garoppolo, I guess. You know what I mean? They're all kind of the same.
Right. Actually, Tannehill is quite similar without the winning record.
Yeah. Right. And then you got, what's his name, too? Another guy I was talking about this at home here, about Kirk Cousins. What do you think of him?
I think that the Minnesota Vikings are going to make the playoffs this year.
I know you were saying that.
I think that man, it's hard. It's like Zimmer didn't like him.
Zimmer was
And
garbage.
I think that had a major effect on his play then. I think this will be the year we're going to see something different.
He's got the weapons, I know, offensively. I don't know how the offensive line is, but he certainly has the receivers and the got everything you can want.
I think Minnesota's going to be better than anticipated.
I hope now. Why can't they all just be bad? And everyone, they're going to take over for Green Bay. I don't know. Anyways,
Kirk Cousins is just the financially smartest guy in the NFL, dude.
He's no better than Garoppolo.
But financially,
yeah. Oh yeah,
he's a very smart guy.
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah,
he's made a lot of money, dude. People don't really know that, but he really had because all the franchise tags. Oh, go ahead, franchise tag me, brother. You know.
I know, and he's never relinquished the starting spot, which you would think.
No, not on any team he's ever been on.
I know, it's nuts.
Unless he's left.
Hey, here's a question for you: if you threw him on the Rams, is he Stafford? Are those guys, or Stafford's probably a little bit? What do you think? Like, could you interchange those two?
So many horrible years of Stafford in Detroit. 1 year of the Rams.
He did
kind of hard to tell.
I will say, though, you don't know how bad that team, other than having Kelvin Johnson, that team was pretty bad. They were there was nothing else but Kelvin Johnson and him.
He never had anybody really other than Kelvin Johnson.
Interesting. My son brought that up to me. Those two players. What would you?
They're very similar. I could see Kirk Cousins having just as much success with the Rams.
The only thing I think maybe athletically, this is just me. What do I know? I think he might be a little more athletic than Cousins. Stafford, like a better arm, maybe a little bit more. I don't know.
I haven't followed Stafford enough to be able to make that judgment call, but
I've seen enough. I've seen a lot. Well, I see 2 games a year every year, and for as long as I remember. And I don't know. He's got a good arm. He's got that. I think his arm's a little better. I don't know. He might be in a Jay Cutler category. There
you go. Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, I think Cutler wins the Super Bowl with the Bears when they play. Like, for example, if you threw Cutler on that team against the Colts, the Bears win the Super Bowl.
Sure.
Rex Grossman couldn't get it done. No matter how close they got in that game, he just weren't going to get it done.
Right.
So, yeah. All right. We should probably take a break. Robin has a bunch more questions. We'll talk when we come back. Actually, wait a minute. Before I take a break, preseason games. Let's talk about them real fast. Tonight, after we get off of here, Bills at Carolina. Hey, any word? Are they playing? Are any starters playing for Buffalo or no?
I don't believe so. I know Josh Allen's not playing. I think this is more bubble guys at this point.
Yeah, this is it.
There's second, third stringers and bubble guys.
Seattle and the Cowboys tonight at 8 o'clock. Chargers, Saints, Patriots, Raiders. Tomorrow's a whole bunch of games.
I think it's all going to be pretty much bubble guys, right? I haven't heard any starters that are going to be playing.
Not much. I mean, I heard some teams, like I know the Bears are playing their guys a full half, from what I understand. I get that. They're kind of young. I mean, I get that for them. Sunday, though, there is the Giants, Jets at 1 o'clock, Lions, Steelers at 4:30. Bunch of games tomorrow. There's like a quadruple header on NFL Network, so that's cool. When we come back, we're going to make a selection to find out who wins the college. Who wins your
my team?
Yeah,
I'll have to go online and order some beer.
Yeah, they win your heart.
Whoever we pick, that's my team from now on.
Oh my God, it's Michigan. Oh my God, please no. Oh,
it's gonna be. I'm not gonna even look at anybody else. Whoever this team is gonna be the team I'm gonna follow going forward.
Sounds like The Bachelor, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Until then, the divorce happens all the time because The Bachelor is ridiculous and it's never what they say.
Now I'm just gonna come on here talking about that team. And I'm gonna drive you nuts.
I know, and you're gonna cheat on them. Who knows what happens? All right, let's and then we got to break it. Well, I don't know how to do this. It's gonna be fun. We'll be back. Let's take a break, Robin, and Scott will be back in about 2 minutes. Okay. If I hit the right button.
For you, man. I know when Tom was a free agent about 2-3 years ago.
All right, we're back, and thank you to the couple sponsors. Thank you to our new shows and old shows and all that stuff. And by the way, the wrestling show at 2:00 on every Saturday. Next week, big guest, Jumping Jim Brunzell from the Killer Bees will be joining.
Oh my God, really? I remember the Killer Bees.
Yeah, that'll be cool. So he comes on, and we'll talk about that more later. All right, this is it. I wish I'd have done something. I should have had some music, some romantic music for this event, because it's a big deal now. You're picking your first team. I got to say.
Honestly, it is going to be a big deal for me because I don't ever watch college football.
Right.
And I've always wanted to get into it, but I never really knew who to follow. I always had a hard time trying to figure out who I would take. That's probably why I never took anybody.
Yeah, no, this is a big deal. Robin, this is a huge deal, don't you think?
Yeah.
This doesn't happen.
This is I think we should do it.
Okay.
Randomly, not in order. Randomly, just number them. And I'll choose a number.
All right.
That easy enough?
Very easy.
Unless you have it ripped up and you got a bowl or something like that and you want to pull them out. I don't know.
No. We'll do it the way you're saying. Let me put a number to them.
Okay.
Then you pick a number. Hold on. Give me a second. Yeah, I can talk while we're going. Robin, do you have a question for us at all? Maybe even while I'm doing this?
You want me to go with NFL?
Well, we can do the college. I mean,
Or do you want me to do my college question?
do the college question. We'll see what's going on here.
Okay. Who is your front runner for the Heisman this season?
CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud of Ohio State.
Yeah.
For me, it's and Jesus Christ, how am I going to forget his name? Oh, Will Anderson Jr. from Alabama. I think that edge rusher. I think he's going to be the first guy to win the Heisman. I think the last defensive player was Charles Woodson.
I was just going to say, they don't ever give it to defensive players.
In 97. This guy, Will Anderson Jr., is unbelievable. He's clowny, but he doesn't take plays off. I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be the number one pick overall next year. I wouldn't be surprised.
Really?
He's unreal, this guy. But that's my choice for.
There you go. I don't even know who the guy is. So.
Oh, but you will now.
I went with a quarterback who I see is obviously pretty awesome.
You will now. You're going to, and the other guy, the guy for Alabama, their quarterback, Bryce Young is very good.
Oh
too.
yeah, Bryce Young. Yeah, I looked at. Bryce Young. I looked into him too.
Robin, do you have an NFL question we could have while I'm doctoring this up?
Yes. Is there anyone in particular that has impressed you or surprised you in the preseason, or anyone that you're looking forward to seeing in these upcoming games?
Pickens, wide receiver for Pittsburgh. That dude's going to be really good, dude.
Yeah. I forgot about him.
Oh, he's looked fantastic.
I'm trying to think. For me, good question, Robin. Got me. I'm trying to think. 9. Who would I think? Who? Let me just make sure I got these numbers.
I can
right.
give you mine.
Yeah, do that. Well, I'm trying to get this in here.
Mine would be Jack Sanborn.
Oh, your guy from the Bears.
My guy, Bears.
Yeah, he is
Linebacker from Wisconsin.
Yeah,
love him.
Yeah, a great preseason, huh?
Oh my God.
He was undrafted, and I watched him play Ohio State for 4 years, and the guy was great. But he's an undersized guy. You know, he's one of them. I think he's going to be a special teamer is what he's going to be. But, man, he's been playing well for them. And, I look forward to seeing him.
How has Hall looked for the Jets? Have you heard anything about him?
I've heard nothing but good things.
Really?
I haven't seen him. But a Jets fan I know has said it's the best they've had in a long time, in his opinion. So he looks good. He reminds me of, it's funny. He comes from Iowa State, so I say David Montgomery. But, it kind of looks just like him. Maybe a little faster, though. 4 or 5. Hold on a minute. Give me a second. Let me just make sure I got the numbers here. I don't want to skip a number. Then that'll be a shame. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We need one more number. Hold on. All right. If you can do this, Robin, I have 1 through 16.
Okay.
How do you want to do this? Should he just pick a random number?
No, you know what I think I'm going to do? Sarah, we got some dice. Where? Those big dice? I got big dice, dude. Hold on.
All right. Oh, it's fun. This will be like the Price is Right.
I got a bunch of dice, so I can even go up to 16 if I need.
Awesome. That's great. And Don likes UCF. I like UCF, too. I love those things.
Yeah.
Them and that when they get all, you get those teams that aren't in the Power 5.
Yeah.
Anybody? Oh, look at the dice. Look at that. Yeah.
I gotta throw them on the ground. So
All right.
whatever the number is, that's my team. Okay.
Yes. All right. Let's go.
Ready?
Here we go.
Oh boy.
My God.
15.
All right. All right. Well, this is a good team that's on the way back. This team was so good in the 80s that they were the convicts that played the Catholics, the Miami Hurricane.
I was just gonna say, is the Miami Hurricanes?
Yep. And they are on their way back. Their coach is Coach Cristobal, and that quarterback.
Oh, okay,
is
I've heard his name before.
Tyler Van Dyke is the quarterback, and they play in the Atlantic Coast Conference. The main competitor is Clemson. Clemson's the team to beat there. But Miami and Pittsburgh and Clemson are probably the top ACC team. So there it is. Now I'm going to follow Miami more.
Yeah.
Great. You're a Miami Hurricane.
All right, hold on, let me pick my dice up.
Yeah, go ahead. That was the old home of Jim Kelly.
Yes.
And every great quarterback of the 80s seemed to come from there, or at least a couple of them. The Miami Hurricane.
I did not even know that name was going to be in the mix.
Yeah, no, they have.
Didn't Will Spaghetti play there?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were really good then. And you know what's funny? Teams like Miami, the teams you remember, I don't know, as a kid, Miami, Nebraska, Texas.
The Hurricanes were phenomenal when I was a kid.
They're all starting to get better again, which is nice.
Good.
So you're on a, it's going to be fun. A team like that, it might be better than taking like Ohio State, Alabama. You know what I mean?
I was really hoping I wasn't going to get one of those guys.
Yeah, right. Or
just because there's so many. I like being different. Now I'll get my Hurricanes hat tomorrow.
Hurricanes hat. Good. Oh,
Texas is going to be fun to watch once Arch Manning is there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He's got his senior.
Is that where he's going?
Yeah, he's in Texas next year.
Oh, no shit. Awesome.
Now, what's his father's name again? I always forget. Cooper.
Yeah.
That's Cooper's kid.
Oh, that's right. He's the guy he's the one that everybody's after.
Yeah.
Arch.
Yeah. All right. Why don't we do this? I'm going to put up the top 25 that has been just come out preseason. Well, the season starts tomorrow with Nebraska playing Northwestern in Ireland. So,
dude, are you ready? Before you get into this.
Okay.
Take Northwestern.
Northwestern tomorrow in Ireland. All right.
Plus
good. We're starting that. That's perfect. Rob, can you chart him? We're going to go wins and losses.
Okay.
We'll find they're plus what, 11?
Yep. I'm taking them. I'm putting money on them as soon as I get off the show.
Okay, plus 11. I don't have a pick this week, but I will next week. So this will be Scott's and Robin. We're going to start doing that. We got to keep track of our wins and losses against the spread. Okay, good. You're giving it. Love it. We give out winners. All right. Yeah, Michael Irvin, right? Yeah, that team. That Hurricanes team was ridiculous. Jerome Brown was there.
Cocaine.
Oh, yeah. They were something else, man. Jimmy Johnson.
Wasn't it him and Leon Lett in the hotel room that got busted with the hookers and the cocaine back in the day?
Well, yeah, I think wasn't that the Cowboys had a house. That house.
Oh, it was a house?
Yeah.
I thought it was a hotel room.
Remember Nate Newton had that tractor trailer of marijuana, man. He was. These guys are unbelievable. They were like that North Dallas 40 or something.
Dude, they were out of control.
Yeah. Everyone was back then, though. Think of the teams back then, right? Like, I think of the Bears of 85. Then you throw that Cowboys team in there. The Mets of 86 were nuts. The Bills team themselves were insane.
That might be the reason they lost the first Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, there was.
They got so trashed the night before.
Good thing that team there had a bunch of wackos on it.
Oh, big time, dude.
And
you know who I love? You know who one of my favorite players was on the Bills back then? Leonard Smith, dude.
Oh my God, he was good.
When he would hit, I would watch him hit a guy inbounds, and I would watch the guy fly off out of bounds and into the wall.
And that was a free agent signing for them. Because I remember he went from the Cardinals, I think.
The Cardinals, yep. I met him at the Sun Park Mall once. Super nice dude. Thurman was a total dick back then. But
I remember Bruce Smith. I remember seeing him here at Club Miami. He
used to go to Club Miami quite a bit.
Yeah, he had that big white fur coat on.
Dude, I was in there one night. He walked in the door, and they were like, "Oh, we'd like to welcome Bruce Smith to the bar." He literally turned around and walked right out of the bar because they announced he was there. That's when they were all dicks back then.
You know what else too, and you know what? I'm not going to get into this, but there's someone in this community that pisses me. So we're in Western New York. If you don't know out there, we are in Bills country. And maybe in age he has mellowed, so everyone's okay with him. Jim Kelly was not really nice.
He was a total dick.
And he was there was some abusive shit, and that guy really, and I feel bad, his son, the whole deal, but he was a dick. He was really a jerk.
He was our quarterback. I never liked him. His personality. I had a girlfriend when I was like 18, and she knew I was a huge Bills fan, and they were good. Kelly was there.
Right.
She came home from work one day and said, she called me and said, I got you something that I know you probably want. It's Jim Kelly's autograph. I'm like, holy shit, how'd you get that? You were working. Oh, he was at the mall. His cousin is Emmett Kelly the clown. And he showed up because the clown was there. And Jim Kelly had a security guard take a note and give it to my 17-year-old girlfriend.
There you go.
Classy fella right there.
Yeah, and you're right. That's what I was kind of getting at. I didn't know that story, but there was a lot.
I know a couple of girls that have run-ins with Kelly.
Poor wife.
Dude, let me say something. I sat one football game I went to, and I was in really good seats, and the people behind me were the former best friends of Kelly's wife.
Oh, wow.
They told me everything.
Oh, geez.
I'm not going to say the stuff on here, but they told me a lot of stuff.
Later on, I want you to tell. Sometime in the future, I want to hear some stuff. Robin knew some stuff too.
Yes.
But all right, we can't talk about it. I've already got enough lawsuits heading my way. Let's not continue anymore. Citizens United.
I heard about that, by the way.
Yeah. All right. It's garbage, but I'm not going to.
I know.
Let's bring up the top 20. The top 25. There they are. Alabama.
16. Nice.
Alabama, Ohio State. There they are. You want to be in the top 4 because that is the playoff. For right now, only the top 4 teams get in, and ESPN chooses it. This right here is the AP poll, but ESPN chooses everything.
So, what do you mean
well, they have that. Well,
what am I getting into, John?
They have a committee that goes in. You'll see at the end of the season. Now that you're watching, the end of the season comes, and they get together and choose the top 4 teams. Dr. Pepper or whoever, ESPN, the coaches, and all that, or not even coaches. I think more of the media.
What they vote on it?
Yeah, they kind of get. We don't know what they do. They get into a room, and we don't know, and then they come out and tell us who the 4 teams are. I mean, Notre Dame shouldn't be 5. I'm sorry. They are always in that spot, and I don't get it. They got a new coach. I mean, I think they have a new quarterback. I'm pretty sure. No, you know what it is with them? Everyone's in a conference but them. They're an independent. They don't play in a conference, and they make a ton of money. NBC is pretty much their network, and they want them so bad to be in the top 4 that they always put them right there. You know what I mean?
It's based on the history of the team.
Now they're going to play opening night. Ohio State plays Notre Dame, so that's going to be a huge game because if Ohio State beats Notre Dame, the only thing that does for Notre Dame is if number 2 beats them, it gives them that little bit of extra, because that's what happens. They'll go into at the end of the season, then they start looking at strength of schedule. They start looking at all that stuff. That's why a lot of teams, Scott, like Cincinnati, these really good teams, because they got those Power 5 divisions are Pac-10, the Pac-12, Big 10, Big 12.
What do you mean Power 5 division?
There's 5 conferences.
Oh, okay.
The SEC is like the Alabama one, Georgia. Okay. They're considered them
NFL ready teams, right?
Yeah, and then you get the others like, where Cincinnati was in the American Athletic Conference, or some of the smaller, but they're still Division 1. Like UB is involved in a smaller one. Sadly, they don't really get a chance. So I kind of hope that they open it up someday for more playoff teams.
Okay, so I'm going to get into the groove of why everybody complains about college football.
Yes, you're gonna get this now, because look, right up there, Alabama is an SEC team. Right. You got Ohio State, Big 10. Georgia is an SEC team, and Clemson is in the ACC, where your team, Miami, is also. Okay. You're looking at now. Here's more. See, there's more confusion to this because they fucked everything up with the conferences. When we were growing up, the Big Ten kind of had a geographical thing to it.
Yeah.
Now, next year or 2 years from now, USC and UCLA is joining the Big Ten. They're leaving the Pac-12 and going to the Big Ten.
Why?
Because of the
Why are they
power.
doing this?
Because of the competition. Oklahoma is going to the SEC. They're going to be in the Southeast Conference with, like, Texas. Texas is in the SEC. It makes no sense. But they're in the Southeast Conference. I mean, you'll get into it. I can't do this.
Okay.
You'll get into
I'm
it.
curious. I can't wait to learn more.
Yeah, you'll see. There's a lot. It's better than it used to be. Because I don't know if you remember when we were kids, there was a polls. It was the AP poll and then, like, I think the UPI or whatever. And there sometimes would be split national champions because there was no playoff.
Right.
So you could have Alabama 1 year and Penn State shared. And it was all like, for example, remember, Rob, the Big Ten always went to the Rose Bowl. And the Pac-12 always went to the Rose Bowl. That's who played each other. No matter where they were ranked, it didn't matter. So you kind of never sometimes it kind of was messed up. But anyways, you'll.
I hear the people arguing every year on the radio about why this team shouldn't be in this bowl game and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, Bushner is the new the QB, but the O-line is great. You know what? They might be, but I think the whole thing is a mess over there. They got a new coach who I like because they should have fired that other guy 2 years ago, who's now the coach in LSU. Brian Kelly.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, Brian Kelly.
But I just don't. They're not number 5. There's no way they're better than Michigan. There's no way that team should be number 5 right now, Notre Dame. I'm going to look at this thing and tell you, for me, on my opinion, I believe that Michigan's better. Texas A&M, once they find their quarterback, Utah's better. I think that Notre Dame just repeatedly gets put there just because. Have they always put them on
based on the history of the team?
And just wanting them there because they know they travel well. There's a lot of money. You put them in the playoff.
Oh, yeah, right. Just because of who they are.
Because Alabama and Ohio State get that too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying nothing that they don't get. They get the same treatment. Because you
should be higher, in my opinion, too, as USC.
Yeah. USC has got, as I was looking, hold on, USC, they got the guy from Oregon, the running back, Travis Dye. Did you know that? He's there now.
No, I didn't know that.
Yep. They took Oklahoma's head coach and quarterback, Caleb Williams. So it's interesting for USC. You're right. And the wide receivers there. Good point. USC is a very, I just think Notre Dame, man, they just shove them down your throat. But
you are right there. They're always on television.
But they're not. You know what? It's funny. They won't get in a conference. They should have to get in a conference. It hurts them.
Why can they not get in a conference? Why? How is that?
They just won't. Years ago, Penn State wasn't in one, and Notre Dame, and there's some other independents. Those teams all got into conferences, but Notre Dame just didn't. Because
I don't understand that. Then how does Notre Dame move up in rankings if they're not in a conference and
they play, right? I mean, like, think about it. Ohio State, well, they're going to play Michigan every year. You know who they're going to play because they have their conference, and then they have their out-of-conference games. And one of them this year is Notre Dame. Good out-of-conference game, obviously, because they're number 5. Notre Dame will play – they just sign any team to play them. Like, they could play Florida State. They can play Michigan. They'll play – there's no rhyme or reason to who they could play other than –
well, that sucks.
Yeah, it's kind of – I don't like it. Notre Dame just has they need to get in a conference.
Why are they allowed to not be in a conference?
Because they are who they are, I guess.
Just because they've been the precedents there that they've always been out of a conference?
They've always been independent, yeah. Because in basketball, they're in a conference. They're in the ACC in basketball. It's just football.
Not be in a conference in college football.
What's that, Rob?
Isn't BYU also not in a conference?
No, unless they change. They've always been in the one with Utah.
Oh, I thought there were.
Well, like Army, I think one of those teams, Army might be.
Yeah.
Maybe. There's a couple more. But like years ago, Penn State was one. They were a big one, Notre Dame, but whatever. Alabama, though, is probably them being number 1 is where they probably should be. I'm guessing. I mean, they're ridiculous. They're always, we don't know who the great wide receiver from Alabama is. You know what I mean? We're waiting. We'll find out week 1 who it is, I will say this, though. Hold on, let me see. We got some comments here. Yes, Notre Dame gets to pick and choose their opponents. Yeah, that's what they do. That's pretty much. All right, here's some games for you. other than tomorrow, the Nebraska-Northwestern game at 12:30 from Ireland. September 3rd, Notre Dame plays Ohio State. September 10th is an interesting game. Alabama at Texas. That'll be good. Oregon at Georgia is going to be good September 3rd. So think about it. September 3rd, you have Ohio State, Notre Dame, you have Oregon, Georgia, and you have Utah, Florida. That's a pretty nice triple header of college football early on, like big games. They're not waiting to the end of the season. Your Miami plays Texas A&M on September 17th. That'll be huge because Texas A&M's in the top 7. So you got that. And then, I don't know if you remember this, Scott. I don't know, because you didn't follow college that much. But years ago, Oklahoma-Nebraska was an incredible rivalry. Just like Ohio State-Michigan, just like Auburn-Alabama. Well, unfortunately, Nebraska left the Big 12, and they stopped playing each other. Well, this year they're going to play each other, which is kind of cool, on September 17th. Clemson plays Notre Dame November 5th, big game. Notre Dame USC November 26th. Arkansas BYU has the potential to be a really good game because I think BYU and Arkansas both, they could surprise some people. And Cincinnati, who was really good last year, that's where Sauce Gardner went, that corner.
Oh, okay.
They're playing Arkansas on September 13th. September 3rd. That's another one.
Hold on one second, dude. My dog's.
Yeah, no problem. I have some things I want to say here, though. I have some predictions.
Okay.
I made some college predictions. I'll wait till Scott comes back. But I got some predictions, Robin. I made some predictions for the college football season. My first one is the Southeast Conference that has probably the best team in the country, Alabama, and Georgia, of course. I think they're going to have a down year. I think Tennessee plays Pittsburgh this year. Auburn plays Penn State. Florida plays Utah, and I think they all lose. I think those SEC teams will lose. I think the conference will be down, but they'll be super top-heavy with Alabama and Georgia. I already made my thing about Anderson Jr. winning. I also think Maryland's going to be good. They're in the Big Ten, and it's Tua's brothers, the quarterback there. They're not bad. And he actually looked good at the end of last year. He looked really good at the end of last year. I don't know if something started to click, but Maryland started to be a pain in the ass to teams. And I think they're going to be good. You know how they gave Ohio State a hard time last year, and I think Tua's brother looked good. Texas. Now, they got Arch Manning coming next year. Steve Sarkisian is the head coach there. He was the offensive coordinator with Nick Saban in Oklahoma. He spent some time in the NFL, too. I just can't remember where. I think if they don't do anything this year, he's going to get fired after 2 years. Another prediction, I think he gets fired if Texas does not do better than 5-7, a lot better than 5-7. And my last one is the best wide receiver, I think, in the country is Jackson Smith and Jigba for Ohio State. He's going to be in the running, I think, for the Heisman and could possibly win the Heisman. You know who plays there, too, is Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison's son plays for Ohio State. He looked good last year. In the bowl game, he had 4 touchdowns. So he looked really good, Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison was always one of my favorite wideouts, man.
Very quiet, wasn't he?
Very quiet and just lit people up.
For a wide receiver, not absolutely no.
I don't even think he really did interviews.
No. I don't even know anything about him, really. To this day,
I just know that dude was money every week.
And he would score a touchdown and do what Walter Payton did. He always just gave the ball to the wide he never spiked the ball.
He was pretty much like a class. That's what I liked about him. Honestly, I like it when they do it. It's done. Put the ball down.
Because it's funny because Peyton Manning is an egomaniac. And when he was playing, he was an egomaniac. He just was. And that's a quarterback.
They always are.
A guy like that.
Egomaniacs to be quarterbacks.
But the wide receiver, though, in Marvin Harrison was a perfect match for him, you know? There was no tug of war over anything.
Yeah.
He just
put his head down and he made plays constantly.
Kind of Jerry Rice-like, I guess, a little bit.
I can see
Rice
that.
was a little more than Harrison. I think Rice
was a little
more
vocal on maybe, but I get what you mean.
All right. Before we wrap it up, I know the Bills game is going to be starting soon. I want to talk about, before we forget, fantasy football defenses.
Yes, I got my
All right. Who's your top defense? We'll go for the same. I don't know.
I honestly, it's like 1A and 1B. It's the Bills and the 49ers. Honestly, to me. I think Buffalo's probably number one.
Right. I got the Rams one.
But it's for me, it's those at the top.
Rams 1, Bills 2, 49ers 3. So we're kind of just interchanging them around.
I got the Rams 3.
Who do you have 4?
The Bucks.
I had the Packers, but okay. I got then 5. I had the Bucks.
5. I have the Saints.
The Saints. Okay, who do you have?
6. I have the Packers.
Packers. Okay, and that's fine. So I'm at 7 right now, and I have the Saints at 7. Who do you have at 8?
I have Dallas at 8. But that was prior to injury.
I got Denver at 8.
I can honestly slide New England or Dallas right there. Because New England's defense is always great.
What do you got 9?
Baltimore.
Yeah, no, you know what? I wrote the wrong name down. It's Baltimore here. Yes, Baltimore's there. I don't know what I was thinking. Baltimore. I was back in the past. Baltimore Colts. I don't know what the hell is going through my mind.
Jesus
I do dwell in the past a lot. I live in the 80s when the Bears won, so I just continually replay that shit. The Mayflower trucks are still rolling, I guess. All right, so after that, I do like the Colts, though, defense.
A 10?
Yeah. I got
Pittsburgh. But I can see the Colts in there. I mean, when you get down in that range, dude, after you get out of the top 4 or 5, you can move those. You can kind of move those around.
When you're drafting, if you have the Chris says Bills and Saints, if you have a chance to get the Chargers, it's a good shot for your defense. I mean, who knows if Khalil Mack stays healthy and
the only thing that sucks is you got to look at the division, man.
Yeah.
Even if they win, the other team might put
up a point. Yeah, that's true. The Browns got a good
defense. That worries me about them.
Like the Browns, you're right. The Patriots. I mean, now we're at the end. Patriots, Browns. Is there anyone in there? Like my last 4 were the Patriots, Browns, Titans, Cowboys. And no real. Is there someone I'm missing?
My last 4 was New England, Dallas, Baltimore, Pittsburgh.
Okay, and I'm going to say. This is not even just because I'm a homer for the Bears. I don't think they're bad. I think they could be a team you plug in if you need to put someone in on a bye. I think their defense. The Bears are
going to be as bad as you think they're going to be this year, buddy.
They need to. I really want them to be bad enough or trade up enough to get that guy from Ohio State in Jigba. And they need a wide receiver like him. He's huge. He's big. He's fast. That would be my goal to get through this season. My goal for the Bears is get through the season. Let me know Justin Fields is really the guy. And get ready for the draft.
I think Justin Fields is really the guy, to be honest with you.
He looks good. He sounds good.
Look good.
He the way he talks and the way everyone talks about him, he seems to be all in. Like, let's put it that way. There's no issues as far as playbooks.
I just wish they would have put more around him, man.
Yeah. No. I know what they were doing. I agree. I'm okay with what they were doing. And obviously that could change here quickly if things unravel and because they didn't have anyone around, and I quit. I change real quick. I turn on people fast in sports. I don't really care. I have no loyalty.
You don't give them enough line to hang themselves. You just cut them right off.
I have no loyalty to them at all. Once they screw up, I mean, my God, that's why you guys love Brandon Beane. Good for you guys. I could never have that love for a GM because I haven't found one yet since. God, I can't even think of one. Maybe when the Bears in '85, what the hell? Bill Tobin, I guess it was. I don't even know. You guys got it made, though. I got to tell you.
I haven't had a good GM since Polian.
You're not the only one who feels this way about this guy.
I'm sorry. I think Brandon, I honestly think, I know we got the whole Horizon thing going on, but prior to that, I think Brandon is probably the best GM in football.
Let me tell you this, and I said this to you, and I think you agree. They need to win, though. The next 2-3 years are critical to win. I'm not talking a Super Bowl. I mean, it's the highest level. It's like being the Yankees. No, I don't think anything right now is good enough, other than a trophy.
At this point with the Bills, unless you win the Super Bowl, nothing's going to be good enough.
And that's because of the fans. I think because of the area.
But we also took our baby steps going forward, and we were fine with it. But we took all the steps we needed to take.
It was Scott, it was a lot of steps. Dude, and that's what happens. But like what I'm saying is, though, because of where we are, this they would have. This is one thing for Bean and maybe the coach would get fired, McDermott or something, if things don't go, if they don't win the Super Bowl.
I think you'd see McDermott going. I don't think Bean would go anywhere.
But my thing is this area has been. If you were doing what the Bills are doing right now and put it in some other place, there'd be a little more, I think, leeway. I think because of what the Bills fans have suffered through the years, I don't think, and they don't deserve leeway. Screw it. You got everything.
Not anymore. Not now.
You got everything you need to win. They didn't even have to add another player, and I think they got enough to win their.
I seriously hope they add Odell Beckham Jr. Add him.
Yeah, and they don't even need. What I'm saying is,
you gotta. If you're gonna do this, you have to fucking go all in. You cannot pussyfoot around it.
I think.
Don't wait for the Rams to pick him up or somebody else. You can use him, man. He's better than some of the other guys on your roster. Grab him.
I think, but and I agree. I agree 100%. I do that with the Maple Leafs. I say the same thing because they're in the same boat with the Bills in a lot of ways. They haven't won, so do it. Go for it. You got
like right there all the time. Right?
Yeah, you got these stars. Whatever.
Yeah, man.
But like the Bills, though, right now, I feel like they have gone. Well, once Josh Allen comes, that's it. Now you can go for it because you're not having, your quarterback's not. You think of some teams and they're sitting there with like Ryan Tannehill or something.
Sure,
you
right.
Really go for it. Probably not because
they don't have that much faith in him.
Because Allen's going to be good for the next. If you don't get hurt, right, it's a 10-year career at least, so he's good.
Oh, should be.
And they never should. Even if they don't win the Super Bowl, like I said, in the next 3 years, they're still going to be division perennial playoff teams. So it's not like there's going to be any
right
issue.
Up in the mix every single year.
But they'll have to retool, and it's got to be exciting for Bills fans. I mean,
I haven't had this much fun since the 90s, dude. Early 90s.
They might even be better suited to win the Super Bowl right now because of the way the league is.
I think so. I think they're set up better.
There's no Cowboys. There's no that NFC dominant. I mean, I like the Rams a lot, and I say they're awfully good, but they can be beat.
A lot of parity.
Yeah, and it's like it's weird. They're set up too good, and God, I can't stand them. But hey, people like you, I root it.
You deserve it, man. You deserve it.
Well, you might, but I don't know. I don't know what you deserve. you can, I guess. I mean,
I can't go that far, huh?
I can't do it. Well, for you deserve it. Dawn is watching. She's a friend. She deserves it. She calms down. She won't go to the fucking store dressed like with Van Halen and the Shield. She won't tell me Trubisky's the best quarterback ever. But yeah. All right, let's get out of here. I want to send you to watch the Bills game. All right, Scott.
Buddy. Hey, man, I will see you guys next week. I won't be here. I'll be on vacation.
That's right. You're on vacation. It'll probably be just me. Yeah. All right. Tune in, though, if you can.
I'll try.
All right. Take it easy, Scott.
All right, guys. See ya.
Take care. Enjoy the game.
You too.